Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Shannon, a fantasy romance author writing under the pen name of SC Huston, and thank you for joining me today for another short sponsor spotlight as part of the 2025 AuthorTube Writing Conference, or AWC, which is a free online conference that is really a major collaboration of small and large channels coming together over a 3-day weekend to talk about all things writing and publishing. And it starts this Friday, June 27th, and goes through June 29th with a Manic Monday that you can catch us on the next day after the conference to find out who won some awards and prizes. So it's going to be lots of fun. And today I am going to take a few minutes to highlight Laterpress, one of our sponsors this year, helping to make this event possible. This is part of my agreement with our sponsors, and it is also something that I'm excited to share with you guys because it's a fresh option for indie authors that I think is really worth exploring. And to be honest, this has actually been on my list of things to do this year. I've not been able to get to it because I've had a Kickstarter and then the AuthorTube Writing Conference coming up. But now, as part of our sponsorship agreement, I will actually be getting on the platform a little bit sooner. I am not yet a member on the platform, but I'm going to show you guys from my perspective of someone who's looking from the outside in. And this is a platform I've heard quite a bit about. I think they're mostly known through word of mouth. And I've heard a lot of great things from people in our AuthorTube community and others who are using the platform. So I do want to start off with who they are and what they offer in case if you've never heard of Laterpress. So founded in 2021 and launched in January of 2022, Laterpress is a publishing platform built for indie authors who want to sell directly to readers through their own branded author sites. And it's designed for authors who want more control over their sales, pricing, and reader relationships, rather than relying on a centralized marketplace like Amazon or Drafted Digital. On Laterpress, discoverability happens through your own links. So whether that is social media, your newsletter, or your author website. Once someone has read a book on the platform, though, they can use the built-in bookshelf and recommendation system to discover more books and authors who are published on the site. And I think what really sets Laterpress apart is their direct sales model. Authors can sell individual books, bundles, or subscriptions, and they can offer the subscriptions as monthly or annual to their readers. And it's used in a similar way to other sites like Patreon, Ream, and Substack. And authors keep 100% of their direct sales and subscription revenue. There are no platform fees on the sales, unlike other platforms that can take anywhere from 8 to 12%. Plus, authors get access to their reader data, so they know exactly who is purchased from them. And that's not something you can say about every platform where you can sell direct. Laterpress was built with books and online reading in mind, and it works across all devices with a web browser, but authors can also offer downloadable EPUBs. And their scheduling tools make it easy for serial fiction writers and authors providing early access to their books to plan each chapter's release. And to upload a whole book, well, according to their team, you can upload a whole book and have it live in as little as 2 minutes. We're going to find out how that works in the upcoming AuthorTube Writing Conference. And so I'm excited to see what that looks like. And Nate Gillick, who works for Laterpress, will be the one who is going to show us how you can do that in 2 minutes or less. I do think probably for someone who's not been on the site before, it might take a little bit longer than 2 minutes. But I think that once you get on there, what it feels like to me is that once you know what buttons to push, it doesn't take very long to get on there and get your next book up, which when you have a big catalog, that's probably pretty helpful to be able to say, okay, got a book out, especially for people who publish pretty regularly. And that way they can get their book up there pretty quickly and get it out there. All right, so now I want to do a live showcase of the website. And so this is what you have when you go to laterpress.com. And oh, no, this is not what you have. I forgot. I always like checking around. This is what you have when you go to laterpress.com. So I was clicking around, looking at different things and making some notes about what I wanted to say. So this is their homepage. And what stands out for me is that it's very focused on how authors can sell direct and have their own branded space here on Laterpress. And so I think, it's pretty clear and easy to understand this. But I really do like the getting started under the resources. But I do want to point out the community first. Under community, you have forum and governance. I've clicked on all these links, trying to familiarize myself with the platform. And the forum, that actually goes to their Discord channel. So if you use Discord, you can join their channel over there. And I do have some author testimonials I got today, and one of them talks about the Discord and how that is useful for her. So we're gonna touch on that in just a minute. If you're not on Discord, it's not like you have to do this. They also have a newsletter that you can sign up on, so you can get more resources that way. And I'm also going to show another way that the page that I was just on, you can find out more about the company as you go here. So I wanted to click on here. So this is the under resources and getting started. So if you're someone like me who my eyes like skip around on a page that has a lot of text, it makes it hard to read it, and I have to like really make myself slow down and read it. And I really love how this makes it so easy to understand, because you've got some of the text and then you've got some example images to show you, okay, this is what it's going to look like. This is where you go. This is what you do. And so I think this makes it really, really easy for someone who might be ADHD like me and, your eyes jump around on the screen. So I think this is going to be so easy. I don't even know how I'm going to need this though, with Nate showing us during the AuthorTube Writing Conference how you can do this, but this is definitely something I can fall back on. And I am more of a visual learner. I like seeing it done, and I learn better that way. And then under resources, you also have news and updates. So this is where you can find out more about what's happening. And I remember a couple months ago, a couple of authors in the community who were talking about how Laterpress now had monthly subscriptions. So you can see that here, that was put out at the end of April. And this goes all the way back to when they first launched in June 2022. And I don't know if anyone from Laterpress is here, but I really want to see another genre fiction contest. I think this would be fun. And this is a great way to also, drive traffic to the site. So I'm sure that's probably something that they thought about when they did the fiction contest, was, to get people familiar with the site itself. But it's also just fun to do things like that. And then the last thing that I will point out in here are the public domain books. And so these are, of course, public domain. That means they're free, but you can go here to click on here to see what this looks like when someone is reading your book on the platform. So I didn't go all the way through, but you can, you click read now. And I don't know if I have to actually log in. I bet you, no, I don't have to log in. It's public domain. I suppose that's it. This reminds me a bit of BookFunnel. It looks a little bit the same way that BookFunnel does it. So, but I thought that was interesting how they do it. I like this button here. I did hit reviews on this one. It's like no reviews. I'm like, well, it's a public domain book. I mean, the author's probably not looking for reviews at this time, but that would be really cool. So you can have reviews right here on the site as well. Okay. So I want to move on to the author testimonials. Let me get to the right screen. So the first one I want to bring up, and this one, when I had mentioned, possibly getting testimonials from people, and Rachel was like, hey, I will give you a testimonial. And I expected a couple lines. That's what you usually get for testimonials. She gave me a lot. So we're going to see everything that she had to say about it. But even though it's a lot, it's really great information. It really helped me figure out, like, how is this going to work for me? I may not use the platform the same way that she's using it, which we'll take a look at her website. We'll also take a look at another website, another page that's on this platform, and see how the authors are kind of using it two different ways. And really, when you're thinking about subscriptions, there's any number of ways you can do subscriptions. It does not, you do not have to be a serial fiction writer or serial writer in any way to be to do subscriptions. So I really like how they have different types of sites set up on there. But let's go and look at what Rachel had to say. So she said that she was skeptical at first, and this is Rachel D. Adams, by the way, about Laterpress, and having been burned by several other platforms in the past, and she was loath to try a new serial platform. But she also wanted to have this available for fans. Side stories and stories written in serial format often do well. Plus, it provides a modicum of accountability that pushes us to write and revise our stories weekly. Laterpress stepped up when several of us exited other platforms. I joined the Discord where everyone can speak directly with designers and developers. And we told them what was most important to us, and they delivered. I really love that they were able to just jump on Discord and say, hey, we'd really love to see something like this. And they were able to get in there and do that. So we told them what was most important to us. They delivered. They keep us updated on every step they take and where they are in the process. I linked Laterpress to my website using a subdomain, which makes finding it easy for my readers. I don't think the platform that you were on before, which I'm also on, has that option. I now have one collection with 7 separate books and stories available, more to come. Readers can preview however many chapters I allow before being promoted to subscribe. And each time I publish a new chapter, I can choose to schedule it or send it immediately. I can also choose to have each publication sent directly to a subscriber's. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. I read this. Like, I don't know how many times I read this, and I did not take that into account. You can send it to a subscriber's inbox. That is awesome. We went from a modified yearly subscription model to a monthly one for those who want it. Laterpress is versatile in that you can publish entire books and can have more than one collection to showcase. So if there are any hiccups, post it to Discord, receive a response in less than a day. And I'm still trying to work out the marketing and incentivize sharing, but with such excellent support, I'm looking forward to continuing to learn over the next year. And what I would say, of course, is that, you know, they just launched in 2022. So they're what, 3 years, a 3-year old company. And there is just probably so much more that the platform is going to be able to grow as they develop and continue to work on their software. So I'm going to share Rachel's site. So this actually kind of reminds me a little bit of like Ream. I've never really been on Patreon, so I couldn't say with that one. But this reminds me kind of Ream because it has the banner across the top where you're trying to, you know, showcase what type of writer you are or vibe or whatever it is you're trying to go for. So this is Rachel's site, and there's a menu over here. You can learn more. Oh, my face is in the way. So underneath my face, it says about the author and log in. And I don't know if there's more options or anything else shows up here if you log in, but about the author, does it? Yeah, it went. So there you have about the author, which she has a couple of links here that you can check out, and they're hyperlinked. Cool. And a bit of a bio and her books. And so she has everything listed out here, what her and her co-writer have in their series. And then below is where you can subscribe to unlock books. And the 7 books. Yeah, it's 7 books here. I didn't know you had that many books out, Rachel. Wow, it's amazing. But yeah, so here's one where it's set up where it feels like to me this is kind of on a subscription model and if I go back to what she said in her testimonial, that they're trying to revise and get things out weekly. So that is their plan. They kind of use this as a serial fiction platform. Plus they sell the books as well from what I can see. And I don't know what these numbers mean. I wonder if that means like reviews. Nope, that means number of chapters. Wonder where the reviews would be. So I did not click on this stuff. Again, everything's underneath my face. You can't see it, but it says reviews over here. And no reviews yet. This feels like, you know, for authors, it's so hard to get reviews on books. It feels like this is one more thing we have to add in, like, hey, go leave a review for me on Laterpress. But I think that as the platform grows, this will be more organic. So, all right. So that is Rachel's site. Now I want to share the other one, but let me play her testimonial. So this one is for Devin Gambrell. And Laterpress was so easy to set up and get started. And I cannot stress enough the community support. If you have a question or tech concern, somebody will answer. So I think the main takeaway with this is that if you are having issues, you can get the support you need and you can get it pretty quickly. So, and I like the idea of the community as well, because we're all about community in over here in AuthorTube, especially that's what the AuthorTube Writing Conference is all about. So this is Devin's site, and it's set up a little bit differently. I mean, she even puts up here, Brained Up, a collection of short stories. So if you know anything about Devin, she has a book out, and she has a couple more books coming out this year that were part of her Kickstarter. She's getting those out to people, fulfilling them for a Kickstarter, and then they'll be published on retailer sites. And so I don't know if, Devin, you plan on putting them here, but this looks like something wholly different from her books. You know, it's a collection of short stories. So you can subscribe to unlock the books, and it looks like 7 chapters. And I do remember Devin was trying to write a short story, like one every month or one every week. I don't remember. And I think maybe that's where she was collecting some of this stuff, but that's just 2024. So she was writing those in 2025 because I read one of them. But a different way of using the website. So you don't have to, you know, publish something every week. If you have a collection of short stories, this could be a good place to put it. So I really like that it's here. Yeah, about the author. Oh, wow, there's more stuff under about the author. Deleted moments, the witch's crystal. This is interesting that it shows up here, but you know, is it just, do you make that choice, Devin, to put it here, but not on the main page? Are you trying to like drive traffic to the stories? I don't know. I think Devin is still here. You're welcome to answer the questions. But if you don't want to answer, you don't have to answer. I'm just curious, but this is pretty interesting. So you have the brain dump, which is what we saw on the homepage of her site. And then we have deleted moments. And then the Witch's Crystal is her one book that is out. So you can sell it. So yeah, so those are the sites. And this has been a first look at what Laterpress offers. And I'm really looking forward to signing it up and testing it out myself. I have a totally different idea of how I want to use it. I think about things for a really long time in my head. Honestly, for anyone who knows me, you know that I think about things in my head for a long time before I do something. And so I have ideas of how I'm going to use the subscription model. That's not going to be quite the same, but will be useful for what I want to do with my author journey. And so, I'm looking forward to getting started on the platform after the conference. And if you want to see more, Laterpress will be presenting during the AuthorTube Writing Conference, actually on Sunday. The first part of their presentation is actually going to focus on how to serialize fiction in a profitable and fun way. And the second part is going to be a live walkthrough of the platform where you'll get to see Nate upload and make a novel live within 2 minutes. So if you do have any questions that can't be answered here today, that would be a great place to take all of your questions. And both of those presentations will include a live Q&A, so you can show up and ask everything that you want to ask them if you've thought of anything today. And that wraps up my spotlight on Laterpress. And of course, a huge thank you to Laterpress for being our 2025 AWC banner sponsor and for supporting indie authors and this conference. All right. Now I get to say hello to everybody who's here. And if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. Not sure if I'll be able to answer them because I'm pretty new to Laterpress myself. But maybe we might find some good ones that we remember to take with us to the conference. And Devin was first in. Happy Wednesday, all. Woohoo, let's go. And then dropping all the sites. Thank you. And then this is the one where they're going to walk through. Nate's going to walk through how to put it up in less than 2 minutes. No, it was 2 minutes. Really? It was 2 minutes? Wait, it was 2 minutes. Did I say something wrong? I probably said something wrong. The Discord link, their newsletter. They're broken up their how-to page really well. Yeah, it makes it really easy for me to see it and not get overwhelmed by, got to learn a new platform and figure out how to do these things. So, and the public domain library for free examples, so you can see what your readers are going to see. You can change the color of the page and all that by clicking the A. Oh, I did see that, but I didn't know what that meant. And I was like, I don't want to hit something that's going to do the wrong thing. But I do see the A at the top of the screen. So I could make it blue if I wanted, right? And then Rachel's Laterpress site there. And then, hi, Christina, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Thanks for coming. Hi. And then Devin's Laterpress site. Sharing this one too, the Richest Crystal. Oh, I didn't know that you had a separate one. That's why I didn't. Okay, so that's why it looks a bit different because you have one that's like your brain dump, and then you have one that's for your actual book. That's really cool. And you can make that choice. That's cool. I'll be adding the Witch's Legacy under one collection. When you get the next two ones out, you're gonna like. So can you make a collection if you don't have more than one book? Because I know like on some places, is it Google? I think it's Google where you cannot like say a book is part of a series unless you have more than one book. And I'm like, really? Like you can, like on Amazon, you can say this is book one and say it's a series and people know there's more books coming. But like on Google, when you upload your book, you can't say it's a series unless you've got 2 books or a collection or whatever it is. It's really interesting. There's so many ways to use Laterpress. Yes. And there is the link for the playlist and for the conference itself. And then the 2 links to Laterpress's presentations on Sunday, which I'm looking forward to. Hi, Eva. How's it going? Hi. Stitch voice. Hi, Anita. How are you doing? I'm going to try and watch those Laterpress presentations. Yeah, I do better with seeing something visually done. It just sits in my brain better. So seeing Nate do it and walking through it and doing it in 2 minutes or less. Again, I don't think that like for the average person who's like just getting on, it's gonna be 2 minutes, but it does point to the idea that once you do know what buttons to click on, it will take 2 minutes. I'm on Ream and I haven't really been over there for, well, I guess maybe a year now, maybe a little less. And it would be a whole lot more than 2 minutes to get my book up there. So yeah, I remember when I put my novella, it took more than 2 minutes for me to get my novella up there. but they didn't have the function to add EPUBs. Like you couldn't upload at that time. I think they might have added it now, but I don't know. You couldn't upload an EPUB of your book. So you had to do one by one of your chapters. Here on Laterpress, I saw that there was you could choose to upload an EPUB for your book. So seriously, 2 minutes max. It was so stupid easy. See, yeah. And that was that like it was 2 minutes when you first tried to do it. So that's really cool. That means it won't take a lot of time at all. That means my video is gonna be really short when I do a walkthrough of signing up and getting my books on there. No, it'll be longer because I have more than one book that I need to do. And Rachel, hope you're having a fabulous day. It's much better. I'd say better. It's been the same all day, but I'm getting a bit tired at this point. I'm ready for sleep. Hi, Devin from Rachel. Rachel, Brandy, did I miss it? Sad. Well, you can catch the replay. But I think that you'll probably get a whole lot more too out of their presentations that they're going to have on Sunday. So they're going to be going from 12 to 2. Now, they're probably not going the entire time. Their first presentation's at 12. The other one's at 1 Eastern time. And I doubt it's going to, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to take the whole time. But it is 2 different presentation links. So they'll end one and then start the other one. But the first one will be about how to make serializing fiction and doing it fun and profitably, which it just does not work with my schedule. I cannot commit to putting out like words every week, but I do a lot of words. Just when I have time, I just do a lot of words, and then I don't have time. So, but then their second presentation will be on doing the walkthrough at the website. So you probably will get a whole lot more out of it. This presentation here was from the perspective of someone looking in and just taking a look and poking around and seeing what they have to offer and what some of the buttons do, which I didn't realize my face was hiding some of it. So it's okay. You can get the replay. Seriously, upload cover, then upload EPUB. Done. I bet it's so easy. Yeah. Play with the subscriptions later. LOL. Yeah, I have a thing that I have in my mind for how I want to do the subscriptions, and it's not going to be serialized or anything like that. But I'm still refining the idea. So I don't know if I'll be ready by the time I upload my books. I had looked at Laterpress a few months ago, so the presentation should help. You know, and I don't know if you were here from the beginning, and I've been talking about this in my live streams when I do live streams in the morning, writing live streams. So I've talked about this for the last couple of weeks. I'm like, how do they make money? And what it really comes down to is they make money off of after a reader is on the platform. So like getting readers to the platform, that's kind of on the authors, but at the same time, that also creates a community of authors and readers who want to be there for the authors. So you're bringing the readers on, and when they read a work, then the platform, I guess, recommends something else for them to read at that point. And in this recommendation, if they choose something else to read, whether it's subscription or they're buying a book, there is a percentage of that goes to, like, if the book is on your site, a percentage of that goes to you in addition to what you're making. And then there's a percentage that goes to the platform, which is 10% for the platform. That's the only way they make money is 0 platform fees. So I have my books direct on PayHip, which I have their free plan tier. But what that means is when I sell a book, they take a percentage of my profit. Now, if I want to pay a monthly subscription, then I get more of my profit back. But I don't sell enough books to do the monthly subscription. It's not worth it for me. I believe that Shopify is pretty much the same, although they don't really have a free tier. They have a free plan where you can get like basically a social media like page that you can share like on Instagram and stuff. But yeah, you're basically paying platform fees in order to sell your books direct, or they're taking your profits. And even PayHip has a middle tier in which you're paying platform fees and they're taking some of your profits. It's just fewer profits they're taking than, compared to the free tier. So that's where I sell my books direct. And then I'm also on Ream and their subscription, and they take part of your subscription fee. When you have a subscriber, they take part of your fee. Here is, you get it all. It's all yours. So the only time Laterpress gets paid is when you've already brought them there and they may buy something else from you or from someone else, so yeah. Sunday. Hey, other Rachel. Oh, did I say hi, Rachel? I feel like I skipped over you. I don't know if I did. Hello. Rachel too. Hello. Mrs. Doubtfire voice. And hugs other Rachel. Congrats on the Kickstarter. Yes, Rachel just did finish her Kickstarter, successfully funded. It was her second one. Can't wait. Me too. I'm really excited to see it. There's quite a few presentations I'm looking forward to in helping my author business. Things that I've been thinking about for a while that I think are going to help me figure out exactly what I want to do. Like I think about things for a long time ahead and then refine it over time and get more information, then refine it some more. So I think this conference is going to really help me with the author business part for sure. And LOL. We have some like fiction panels and presentations. They were mostly horror this year. There's a couple other ones that are not, that are going to be interesting. But hi, Brandy from Rachel. Hi, Rach. I think Laterpress is close to finishing promo codes. I plan on giving my beta readers free access to deleted scenes. Oh, cool. I didn't know they were working on promo codes. Do you get like, because I just joined the Discord. I haven't even been in there yet to poke around because I haven't had time. You know, I've got this little thing called the conferences coming up that doesn't really leave a whole lot of time for much else. And so in the Discord, do they talk about more like things that they plan on doing? Because, you know, they have their news and updates. And, you know, and they do have their newsletter, but I don't have the newsletter yet. I just signing up for everything. So the updates, the last one was from April. So I don't know if they've done anything more recent, but do they talk about things that they're doing in the Discord? Is that where you're getting some information from? I've been too busy to keep up with the news. You and me both. I need to upload author commentary and deleted scenes again in Laterpress. What happened? Did it fall out or did you take them out and I was wondering what that author commentary looked like when I was going through some of the steps in where you could put like some author commentary. Is that like at the beginning of the book? And okay, so I'm thinking I'm only familiar with one subscription platform and that's Ream. And that one you could leave like notes on specific parts of your chapters and your readers could respond to those notes, which I really love that feature because I would try to ask questions and stuff and my readers would respond. And so it was a great way to interact with readers. And I didn't see that didn't look like quite what they have, but I did see author commentary. It looked like what it might be is it's like at the beginning of the book, but I don't know. I'd love for you to clarify if you are able to. Oh, commentary sounds like a really cool to do. Yes, they are working on promo codes. Just a little thing called the conference. They usually share in Discord. Okay, so that's where you get your updates. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad I joined. I joined the Discord before I joined the newsletter. They do monthly updates. I took them out to redo some stuff. Okay, so you took them out. So it wasn't like something glitched on the platform. That's awesome. All right, I got through all the comments. And I didn't see any questions, which was probably good because I don't think I could really answer any of these questions about Laterpress because it's still rather new for me, other than just what I hear by word of mouth. So thank you, everyone, for coming today. And they have a long list of things they're working on based on reader suggestions. I bet, I mean, Ream was in the same position when I was more active there, that, you know, they were constantly being asked, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you add that feature? Can you add this feature? And so they're like, we got a long list and we're just working through it. So I imagine it takes a bit to get a company fully established with all, I mean, gosh, let me look at us as authors, right? One platform, we can go publish on one platform, but if we want to go wide, there's a bunch of other platforms out there. There's still platforms I want to get on. I still haven't got there yet because I'm also trying to write and do other things like the conference. So yes, thanks for the overview. And it was wonderful. Yes. All right. Thank you everyone so much for coming and I'll catch you guys out later.